Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. By far, the best performing company on the ASX on the 28th of July 2023 is a company called Pointerra, ticker code 3DP. Now, according to Market Index, and this is delayed information, the share price of Pointerra is up 100%. Now, last time I looked at ComSec, the share price of Pointerra was up 113.5%. So not only in terms of share price increase, is this the best performing company on the ASX? The amount of shares traded today in Pointerra has been absolutely huge. And volume is very important because that tells me there's a lot of interest in this company today. So the whole point of me doing this video is to try to figure out what has caused this excitement. And it's not a shock. It's not a surprise. It should not be a surprise what has caused this excitement in the company if you go through announcements. Anyway, now, before we look at the announcement, I'm going to talk about the volume. Now, I'm recording this video 12 minutes before the closing auction, so 3:48 p.m. And currently the share price is 20.5 cents, up 113.5%. But the volume traded today is almost 40 million shares. Now, that number itself is in isolation means or tells us nothing because maybe every single day 40 million shares are traded in this company. But if we go back and compare the volume traded today to previous days, 268,000 yesterday, 268,000 on the Wednesday, 186,000 on the Tuesday, and 622,000 on the Monday. And in fact, we have to go all the way back to the 15th of June for the last time more than 1 million shares were traded in this county, which tells us when there are 40 million shares traded in one day, that is huge volume. In fact, if we look at the history of volume traded in this company, daily volume, we have to go all the way back to July 2020 to see the last time we have seen this many shares traded in this particular company. And in fact, we'll have a look at the chart later and we'll go back to July 2020 because it's very important what happened after that particular day where there was massive volume traded. So what has caused this excitement in Pointerra today? I was going to say 3DP. I suppose I could say the ticker code, but what has caused excitement in Pointerra today? It was an announcement. And typically when you see massive share price rise on huge volume, it's going to be an announcement that's caused this excitement. And for Pointerra, it is no different. However, I'm going to have to admit this, when I did see the title of this particular announcement, it really did nothing to me because the sort of description, they mentioned script description in ComSec, but I call it a title. And typically the title of the announcement should cause a little bit of excitement. So profit upgrade, trading update, that sort of thing is what I'm looking at. Appendix 4C, Appendix 5B. So the description or title of this particular announcement was quite simple and boring, in fact. US Energy Utility CapEx Program. You don't drive anything from that. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be negative? Who knows? So I opened it up and straight away I went, oh, this could be pretty good. Even though they're fairly vague in their highlights section, they do mention this is a 10-year US energy utility CapEx program. And in the third point in the highlights section, Pointerra expects to generate material annual revenue across the term of the program, so across a 10-year program. And their customer, which is an existing customer, Entergy, is a fairly big company. It's a Fortune 500 company, and they have this grid resiliency CapEx program, spending $15 billion on this program. The main thing I want to see when I see announcements like this is the value of the contract. So in the third point in the highlight, they just said it's going to generate material annual revenue. More than likely, they have no idea how much revenue it's going to generate, but it's going to be material. Now, they did give us a bit of a hint to how much they might receive in this particular contract. And it's in the second page of this announcement, the Energy Resilience Program, Pointerra's role. They talk about their role in this program. And if you don't know what Pointerra does, just go to their website, go to any of the announcements to have a look at what they do. I've done a few videos on this company in the past, so I don't want to delve into what they do. So let's have a look at probably in my opinion, the most important part of this announcement, which gives us a little bit of an insight to how much money Pointerra could generate from this particular contract. So the company expects, so they're going to be paid a price per pole structure inspected and analyzed using Pointerra 3D. And the company expects that up to 4 million poles. I would have liked a lower end to that, so between 2 to 4 million polls, could be expected and analyzed using Pointerra during this time. Pointerra has previously been paid between $20 and $40 US dollars per poll for similar processing in inspection and analysis work. The rate for this no program has not been finalized, which is important. Maybe they might give a discount, who knows? However, the company expects it to lie within this range and revenue from this program and is expected to commence during financial year 24. So I suppose we're in financial year 24, Australian financial year 24. American financial year 24 starts in a few months, 5 or 6 months. Anyway, so that means they expect about 4 million polls, up to 4 million polls. And if we're a little bit conservative and say 2 million polls at $20 US dollars a poll, that's 40 million US dollars over 10 years, $4 million per year. But if we're a little bit more aggressive with our assumptions, possibly 160 million US dollars over a 10-year period, $16 million per year. So there is a wide range of numbers you could be working with here if you want to do a valuation of this particular contract and how it's going to impact Pointerra in the long run. So if you are going to do that, I don't envy you, because you're going to be working with a complete wide range of different numbers. Okay, so this is why the market is excited about Pointerra today. Now let's have a look at the chart. And the bad thing about Pointerra over the past few years is the share price has been in a well-defined downtrend. In fact, the sentiment around this company has been absolutely horrible over the past, say, 6 to 9 months. In fact, the share price almost went down to a low of 8 cents back in March of this year. In fact, the low, I can tell you right now, was 8.1 cents. What a great time to buy. And what a beautiful one-day candlestick we are seeing here today. This is an absolutely gorgeous one-day candlestick. And this means, and I would say right now, there is a lot of supply. There are a lot of old shareholders, stale shareholders, who want to get out on this announcement, but that supply of shares is being met by demand. That's why we're getting massive volume. There is a really good turnover of shareholders on this particular announcement, and that is what we want to see. We want to see all those stale shareholders, all those shareholders who think this is a dog stock, to get out. And we want new blood in. We want new shareholders who are excited about the future of this company. And that is what's happening today. Now, what I'm going to watch out for over the next few days is no huge selling. So no massive supply coming on, and that can't be met by demand. And that would lead to the share price tumbling all the way down, probably to almost 10 cents. If I saw that, that would actually be negative. But if I see the share price go sideways over the next few days on continual pretty big volume, that's really healthy. That means all that extra supply, which is starting to probably get lower and lower as all those stale shareholders sell out, is being met by demand. And that demand's still there, which is very exciting. Probably the only worry thing I am about the trading in Pointerra today is day traders. Day traders would be loving this, and we might see continued volatility over the next few days. So I would like to see the share price just pull back a little bit. And if it does pull back to a certain range, I might add to my position in this company. So if we take the longer term view, so the share price of this company has been a downtrend since about March 2021. In fact, the share price got to a high of nearly $1 in, when was that? That was, I suppose, February 2021. So let's go back to that really big volume day we saw in July 2020. That's the day that Bevan Sterry announced he was going to take a position in this company. And we saw massive volume on that day. And that was a breakout. Share price on that day rose 72.2%, closed at 9.3 cents. And the share price kept on going up. If we actually zoom in a little bit more, if we look at one-day candlestick, that's actually a less bullish candlestick than what we're seeing today. The problem is today there is a bit of an overhang because the share price has been a downtrend. Back in July 2020, share price on that day did reach either a long-term high or an all-time high. I'm going back through the history. Yeah, not quite an all-time high. Actually, in fact, we have to go all the way back to late 2017-18. And maybe that's why there was a little bit of selling on that day, because of those shareholders who bought in 2017, 2018. But just look what happened after that. Share price just kept on running. In fact, the share price went from 10 cents on that day to a high of almost $1 less than 1 year later. In fact, you could say 6 months later. So I won't say that's going to happen again for Pointerra, But I think this company is in a much better place right now than it was back in July 2020. So I've put this, even though I am a shareholder, I've definitely put this onto my trading watch list. And if I do get a buy signal, I might just add to my position, take a trading position, and hopefully build up my position, overall position in this company just by trading it. So if you have any questions about Pointerra, current time is 3:57 p.m. I'll just see if the share price has moved a little bit more. No, staying around the same point, above 20 cents. So if you have any questions, any thoughts about Pointerra and this announcement for the company, love to hear your thoughts, any questions you have. So leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.